Экскурсия начинается. Петенька, иди аккуратненько. Аккуратненько иди. Аккуратненько иди. Мои любимые лестницы.
We are here, it's a big bakery. Normally backstage is a little smaller. But we are in a basement, and on these basements you will find only breads. One. The first one here, where everything starts with the flour bags and the mixers. The second one with the machine, we're going to go there in 5-10 minutes. And the last one where we'll finish our visit, with the ovens to cook the breads. So here everything starts at 2 with these flour bags. Inside each flour bags we have, you all in pounds, 50 pounds of flour. And just to let you know, for each week, this guy's using 70 bags like this just for a week of work. And they bring the bags back on their back using the steps. And when the bags are here, each morning, they're gonna use that mixers, the little one for 100 pounds of dough, and the bigger one right behind you, like that. They could put 3 jars like this, like you're inside. 100 pounds of dough. And they drop directly inside everything. So flour, sugar, water, yeast. The waters come directly from the wall, so you can measure the quantity of water we're using. And we're mixing this product for about 30 minutes. When the dough is ready, merci beaucoup. When the dough is ready, we're gonna take the dough and put the dough inside this white bucket behind you, 7 kilos by 7 kilos. Why 7? It's another question of rule. We're gonna talk about this in a few minutes. But when this dough is inside this bucket, we take the bucket and put them directly inside the freezers on minus 18, which is 20 Fahrenheit, for 24 hours. We do that to stop the rising, but during that 24 hours, the yeast still works inside. Yeah. We bring the dough out after 24 hours and we put it to another freezer, a little warmer, between 5 and 8, 40 Fahrenheit. And we're gonna keep it inside for 12 more hours. After 36 hours, we bring the dough out, we cut the dough, use the machine to give the shape to the baguette, leave the baguette for 2 more hours to rise, and cook the baguette inside ovens. So all the process, from the flour bag to the shop, takes about 40 hours. So all the dough, which is now here inside, is producing for Wednesday.
Wow.
And because they're producing 1,600 a day, they have to do a lot of advance and projection for the next days.
Right.
So here, a couple examples of what we could find in France in many bakeries. This is the first one, the oldest one, calling the classic, the famous French cliché with a guy with a beret. This is the French baguette. Yes, oui, exactly. The other one here, created about 40 years ago, calling the traditional. So of course, the difference is not only from the shape, the main difference is from what we have inside. So if we're looking inside carefully, you can see that here we have first a difference on the color of the dough. But inside the traditional one, we have much more bubbles inside the traditional one than we have inside the classic. And that difference of color and bubbles make a difference on the taste. So please share with your parents here. Let's try this. Let's go. You can't? Why? Come on, you have to try, because I will ask you which one you prefer. Share with your mommy. Oh, mommy.
Мама, а это как бы какой? Свежеприготовленный?
Да.
Свежий, давай. So the first one was the classic. In a few seconds, of course, I will ask you which one you prefer, but you will have to tell me why you prefer the first to the second. I put this part on the side because this side is going to be more crunchy. You have to know that the traditional is always more crunchy, but it's always more crunchy only by the way we cut the bread before we cooked. So, but I want you to be focused on the taste of the dough and not on the crunchy side. Oh, here. Come on, try the second one. Let's go.
Попробуй, Петь,
You
второй.
have to try this.
Мама, это какой?
Тоже свежий. Петя.
And please.
Так, да.
So let's start by the youngest one. Jared, you ready to try the two?
Classic.
The first? You prefer the first? Okay. Is it first or second?
Какой тебе больше нравится, Петь? Первый или второй?
You remember when you were living in US?
Georgia. Augusta, Georgia.
Remind
The
me.
Masters.
South? No.
Yes.
Yeah, south.
Right about Florida.
Okay, cool. All right. Okay, sounds good. All right.
So I definitely like the first one.
So first one,
Yeah.
sir.
Airy.
Second one. Okay. Okay. Because you have some roots from Romania, so it could be understandable. I will tell you why I'm asking you this. Listen, Peter, so you tell me the first or the second?
Какой больше нравится, первый или второй?
Yes, okay.
First.
First one too. Oh,
First one,
all
yeah.
right.
First one
Okay.
favorite.
Okay. 85% of my clients come from US. So that's how I'm asking where you were, okay? Because I do a little survey, and we have really different type of location in US. East Coast, West Coast, so New York, LA, and Miami. These guys normally prefer the seconds. All of your people in the US, and mainly people living in the center and north, prefer the first. It's due, in my opinion, by the fact that we have a lot of migration coming from Europe to East Coast, West Coast, and South, more than in the middle. And in Europe, actually, we prefer the second one, so the salty one. But in the East, we're using more soft bread than inside the second. But what kind of difference do you feel? Because you tell me which one you prefer, but why? What's the difference between first and second?
The second one feels a little like almost like more gooey, more I don't know. The first one is like airy, it's light, it's
Okay, sounds good. Jura,
Very
no
salty,
difference?
yeah. Very, yes.
Which one is more salty?
Salty, second.
Yes.
Salty, first.
First. You're right. Same difference, something else?
I mean, this tastes a little more like olive, not olivey, but it's got more of a little grainy taste to it in the second one.
Second one?
But
Sourdough.
Yeah.
The second one is more sourdough, is more salty. But why? There's a difference, and this difference is done by this. Jared, open your hands.
Okay.
Don't eat that, just smell it, okay? Let it smell to your
Smell it.
family. Yes, exactly. Peter, same
oh,
thing.
what is it?
Попробуй, понюхай, Петя.
Yeah.
It smells like when mommy makes a lasagna.
So, this is the yeast, guys, that we are using mainly inside the second one. Inside the second one, we have 80% more of yeast compared to the first. And that yeast made all the difference. That yeast made the salty taste, made the sourdough taste, and made all the bubbles.
Yes.
That's why you have much more bubbles inside the traditional one compared to the first. But we have a little other difference. This is the flowers that we use here. The white one for the classic and the little more brown for the traditional.
Right.
And what is interesting is to know that these two flowers at the beginning, so I mean in the field, they're exactly the same. The seeds are the same. So what happened? It happens that when we crush the seeds for the first one, these guys using a lot of machine and a lot of water to wash the seeds. At the end, we have a flower really white and really thin. Inside the second one, and that's why it's calling traditional, it's not only marketing, these guys using big stones to crush the seeds and less water during the production. So at the end, we have something like more natural color. And if you put your fingers inside, you could make the difference that this one is more thin than the second one.
Oh, that is so soft. That is so
Yeah,
soft.
and try the other
And
one, you will see
second,
there's more grain.
second taste,
Alright.
Peter.
Do they,
And second?
do they bleach the flour?
Yeah, you can see.
No, bleach? No, they're buying ready. Yeah, they're buying ready things.
This one is a little bit more like
Grainy,
hard.
right?
Yeah.
Watch out.
Oh, sorry.
So my grandfather used to take the bags of grain,
Yeah.
of wheat, of
And bleach.
corn,
Yeah.
and take them to what's
A
called
special-
water, right?
Exactly.
And they would do with the big
'Cause
stones,
you-
like I
exactly.
caught that time.
Exactly. So here we have two other. This one is a multi-grain, so they use it for brown bread in France, more healthy,
Okay.
supposed to be. and this one is interesting. It's a corn flour. Corn flour is mainly using in this country for people allergic to gluten on the head or on the stomach. What's the But just in case they're real allergic, there's one thing interesting to know. As I told you, I have mainly Americans, and sometimes people come here and tell me I can eat bread, I do the tour for my kids, blah blah blah. Right. But let's try a little piece of French one. Okay, so they try a little one, biggest one, finally buy two baguette, and nothing happens. So why, if they're really allergic? It happens that in the US, since 15 years, you allow the GMO. And that GMO modifying in 15 years deeply the structure of the DNA. And today, they tested the amount of gluten in American seeds, it's 4 times more massive than in Europe. Without any modification. That's naturally
Yes, right.
GMO modifying. So here today, if you want to buy a bread in US, you have to know there's 4 times more gluten inside than inside the French one. And that's why I'm not surprised. I have no allergy to anything.
Yeah.
maybe for bad people. But if I'm going to US and eat bread, I feel heavy all the time.
Yeah.
And that's the reason. That's the
That's
only
amazing. I
reason.
didn't know.
It's a crazy,
Wow,
yeah, crazy thing.
crazy. It is.
I'm gonna sign you my copywriting for this. Eh? Let's move to the machine. Come here.
Wow.
Yes, you know, it's hot. If it's
Right.
warm. If it's cold, you can touch the dough, but by using a lot of flour, we do that. And as you already see, we have a lot of bubbles because it's a traditional one.
That's a good sign.
And now we're gonna use these two machines. So the first one here is a mold. This machine is dedicated to cut this dough, 7 kilos, in 20 equal sections. So why?
That's what I need.
I told you already that there's a rule, and this rule is to put 7 kilos. But why? As you know, probably the states all around the world wants to control something in each country, right? So the states can control the price that you are selling the baguette here, so you could sell it for 1, 2, 3, even 4 euros if you want it. But the state is smart, so the state control the weight of each baguette in this country. And how they do that? They sell in the machine.
Yeah.
And by selling the machine,
Really?
they
They
tell you
sure,
that if you
they
drop
sure.
exactly that if you drop 7 kilos inside here and cut this in 20 equal parts, each baguette in this country is supposed to weigh 350 grams. Classic or traditional doesn't matter. 350 is the weight done by the states.
Wow.
And this is exactly what we will do. When we cut this dough, we take each part and drop to this other machine here, which is a mold. A shaper. If you take a look from the top, we have many rollers inside, and we're dropping the dough. Many odds are here to bring you as an elevator. You have here the rollers, and we're gonna drop this here, go inside, and in 5 seconds we're gonna have a shape of the baguettes. If they do that by hand, it takes almost a minute. So 1600 a day,
Yes.
too long.
Yeah.
On y va, Manu? So Manu will show you this. Through companies, of course, but they have agreements on the machine, and this machine is with an agreement sold by a company
Right. With
to the state.
Only there, right?
Anyway, I'm sure that there's something smart in the US. If you're looking. Oops, watch out.
Can you see?
So, this is the last French. And the job is done.
You know how much time it takes me to measure when I make my kozorok? To measure it, put it on the scale, make sure it's like.
So you need a machine like
Yes.
this? Ask him. Attends, mets-moi d'abord quelques portions dans le panier pour me libérer la place parce que je vais avoir besoin de la place. Et après on fait la machine.
La farine.
Non, mets-moi juste. Enlève-moi et mets-moi dans le.
Combien?
Tant que tu peux parce qu'il faut que j'ai la place ici. C'est pour ça. Bon après je vais découper. So now that we separated this, we will now use here. Whoops.
Yeah.
Voilà. Alors ça c'est pour moi. Mais ça, tiens, hop. Ça c'est pour toi. Et on essaie la machine. C'est bien?
How many trays does that machine have?
Inside?
Yeah. It rotates
30.
30.
Yes. So now we're going to use that, and you will see that with the same amount of dough, just by changing the regulation, we could have 2 different shapes of bread. Something like that. All right. Allez, Mamadou. So the first one, on commence par quoi? Classique? Ouais, classique. C'est le réglage pour la classique?
Ouais, c'est bon.
So let's see the classic. Vas-y, jette. Dropped, go under, and 5 seconds, coming down. Already rolled.
Wow.
Job done. Now, we're gonna change the regulation. On fait une tradition, s'il te plaît? So we change the regulation. Let's go. And we drop inside. And shoulder. So we have the first shape for the classic, the second one for the tradition. So now guys, be ready. You will be the machine. Tiens, mets-moi ça là-dessus. Attends, 2 secondes. Ouais, c'est pas très grave. Hop. Vas-y, show me and watch. We're going to use that part of the hands to squeeze the dough and transform this dough to a perfect rectangle. So normally at the end, how many corners we're supposed to get?
4.
Of course. Let's go, guys. Because I don't know if you know about this, but mathematics are everywhere, even in the bakery. Everything is mathematical. That's thick. All right, perfect. And on the side. So always from the top, like that. Okay. And if you stick, no problem. Yep. Jared, show me the angles. Jared, where's your angles? Where's your 4 angles?
It's sticking to my
It's
hand.
not
Ведь
supposed to
надо
be a
делать
pizza.
четырехугольник,
Jared,
зайка. Четырехугольник надо делать.
It was sticking to my hand.
yeah, don't look for some
Excuse.
excuse. Yes,
No, it
exactly.
actually was.
You've watched your mother in the kitchen plenty of times.
Yeah, exactly.
Why does it keep sticking?
Pizza. What is this? What do you ask?
Is that a ghost?
Daddy, help her with the.
Put the sleeve up, please.
Explain me. What the hell are you doing? Okay, forget it. Take another one. Hold on. Okay, when you stretch, the same than Clara. Never stretch like this. Always stretch from the top. If you stretch on the side, you're gonna have exactly the result you get. So something thin in the middle and wide on the side. So always stretch from the top. Okay, hold on. Don't worry. Okay, I think it's good. Let's go. So, now that we have a perfect rectangle.
Semi-rectangle.
So, now what we have to do to finish and do the job of this machine, so squeezing the dough, we have to roll it with your 2 hands from the center to the side and be more focused on the side to make it something more thin. So we go from the center, go to the side,
Раскатывай
and
его.
finish much more on the side to get something like a little traditional baguette. Let's go.
There you go.
Good job, guys. My thing is falling apart.
Молодец.
So is mine.
A little bit more on the side. No, that's fine, don't worry. Just do the same with your hands on the side, and just by doing this, it's gonna stick. Let's go, roll it.
I have no.
Monsieur, merci.
Пошли.
Down with the...
Caramel?
Yes.
Caramel.
Watch out.
Mommy,
So,
please
we choose this bakery for another reason. The thing is that they're not wasting a lot of product. And how they do that? They do that by using these special freezers. If you hear the sound now, the sound, is the ventilation system inside. Each 5 minutes, we have a big ventilation system, and we keep it inside. We could keep the cakes inside for more than 5 months. They have never changed the taste of the cakes. If we do the same at home, after 5 days, game over. You could put it on trash. Here is not a problem. So, each morning when these guys coming at 2 o'clock in the morning, the first move they done is to take a look at the shop. What kind of cake is missing? 3 of that, 4 of these, 5 of these. They come in here, unfreeze the cake, the right number, between 2 o'clock and 8 o'clock. And when they're ready, they put on the shop on the good range. So this is how they do that. And that's why they put it on the trash only 3% of the production. So here, this is the recipe of different many things. And today we're going to do the famous financier. So this is the recipe. You will discover the secret.
How many years?
It's really useful, so that's why it's tired. And here, this is the recipe and the name of the cake, financier, financial in English. And to be completely honest with you, this was created in New York by a French baker during the 60s. And it was created for a guy working in Wall Street. That's why it's called financier. It's coming from here. And we have the recipe for 1, for 10, or for 20 people. But if we are focused only for 1, you could discover here the right amount of things. So the first one is the amount of sugar, 190 grams. 180 grams of butter, 150 of egg white, 100 of flour, and 70 grams of almond powder. So sugar represents more than 60% of all of this, and that's why they're so good. Yes. So here we have the ingredient, guys. We have the flour, the almond powder, and the sugar. Not with your hands.
You're fired.
Est-ce que tu peux me passer? Je vais aller chercher moi-même. Bouge pas. Hold on, Jared. You will start. Let's go. I think you know what? Move to you. Will be easier. Let's go. But do that all around. Frankly, go around.
Полностью по кругу петь. По кругу вымешивай. Хорошо бери, вымешивай.
Les petites pastilles au chocolat blanc. Ouais. Merci. Merci. Side dough. Because yes, on the side. If you stop after 30 seconds, the butter always go on the side. So you will see the butter, and you will know that you have to keep going. But because you do that perfect, but you do that gently, now if I dropped all the dough inside this pipe that we will squeeze, it's going to be too liquid. So it's going to be hard to control. So always, if you want to densify the dough before you drop it inside the pipe, you have during 15 seconds before the end to do that faster and harder. And this is exactly what we will do. Just watch out.
Oh God. That is literally the speed of light.
Okay. And now we can put it inside the pipe. I'm just missing one thing, so we move to your side. Stay there. Be there. Watch out. Jared, don't move.
Nope.
Sir, are we need your help?
Yes.
Just take one tool.
Special.
Yes, this one. Perfect. So, grab this from the top, like this. From the top. Really? No, from the under. Really from the top. Yes. And my game would be to avoid your finger. Not too tight. Perfect.
Dad, please don't lose your fingerprints for
Nope.
baking today.
Тебе понравилось?
Perfect. Thank you very much. All right. So we will close that. Is there some lefty among you? Some lefty this morning? No?
No.
All right. Okay, work still with the left hand, but just in case.
Right is better.
Depends. All right. All right. So this is the mold that we will use in a few seconds to, of course, squeeze that pipe inside this mold. This is a silicone mold, so we don't need anything else. Normally, if we use mold for the Madeleine, there's on a metal. And you want a Madeleine? Okay, so
Yeah, you might.
I'll bring this up again. Let's make a picture. This is the recipe of ours, and this is the recipe for Madeleine.
Oh my gosh. Thank you.
And so the difference is on the Madeleine we will
I'm not
use full
full
eggs,
baking.
so not only white.
I'm
We use some baking powder and we use zest of lemon and vanilla. That's the difference.
Oh,
Yeah, it's nobody knows.
thank you.
No,
And
no.
on the
frame
Madeleine,
it.
oh, we have that here. You can see. They're actually done Madeleine. So you see, there's a metal things, but before they put the dough inside, they spray with butter and flour. So they sure
So
not
they don't
stick.
stick.
Exactly. We don't have this problem with the silicone one. So we're gonna just squeeze that directly. So how do we squeeze that inside? The technique is easy. We're all right-handed, so you open your right hand, you put the pocket right here,
Okay.
and you squeeze with your right. But
Okay.
the left have something to do. Yes. You squeeze with the right hand from the center. You don't have to turn, okay? Just from the center. And you squeeze until almost the top. Why almost? Because inside the ovens, you have to realize that they grow much
they
more,
grow.
right? So stop 1 millimeter before the top. So you squeeze, you stop before the end, and the left one's coming and pinch the end to move to the other hole. Open, squeeze, release, pinched, and move. I will show you.
Can I
Oui, je coupe et je te les donne. On a besoin? Tiens, j'ai fini.
cover my hand over the top?
You know what? You will do that day start because your hands is a little bit more smaller and it's gonna be much harder for you. So when the dough will, there is less dough. So squeeze from the top, stop before the end, pinched, move. Squeeze, stop, pinched, move. All right, Peter, you want to try? Open your right hand. Perfect. Pinch the end.
Держи в конец.
Let's go.
You're gonna scooch back a little bit so his mom can take a picture.
Ils sont morts, hein, on va
Ага. Хорош. Зажимай. Следующий.
Good job. Look at that.
Yes, he likes cooks.
Good. This one looks good.
Do another
Yeah.
row.
With
You
my-
also?
with my husband.
Do another row. Come on. Keep going. Cool.
Is that what we're gonna have to do?
Okay.
Хватит.
No. Perfect. regulate everything. And if we take a look inside, you can see how deep these ovens are.
Oh, wow.
We can put 40 baguettes at the same time inside. And we're gonna use them, of course, in a few seconds to cook your bread. But before, we have to scarify your bread. So we have to do some cuts.
She'll look like that. Oh.
So we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cuts. Why 6? We can do 7 or 5 or 4. But you have to know that on the same block of bakery, and here around this one we have 4 others, each bakery do another kind of cuts. So this
Okay,
bakery
so
do
it's like
6,
a
and the other side of the
signature.
street they do 7, on the other one they do 5, and we always supposed to recognize in
Which
which
one?
bakery
Right,
which one was
was
done. Main difference and the main problem is with the traditional one, because on the traditional, where you are in the south of France or north of France, you always have one line.
Yeah.
So if you someday ask for a traditional baguette in this country, whenever you
will-
always have one cut. So, and we do that cut with a special tool, a razor. The razor are here. So we're gonna use that, okay? It's not again to take care.
razor.
It's a razor, yes.
A very smile.
It's what?
A very smile.
Nobody knows.
They all look the same
And
now.
it's always like this. We never know. But you have to keep it in your mind by doing this that you're gonna eat that. And maybe the one of your neighbor.
We're just gonna freehand it.
So we're gonna use that to do that cuts that you found. And we don't need to go deep. 2 rules to respect. The first one, keep the tools like this from the top. Not like a pencil. Really from the top, like that. And always not deep. So start from the left side and slightly with one line go from one side to the other. And you will see that in a few seconds the door will open. Yes. Jared, especially for you. Ready? Take the tool from here. Yes, there we go, straight. Good job, Peter. Cool. You know what is an hashtag? An hashtag.
No.
Come on, you have to. Good. So, Peter, Peter, you help me for the second part. Jared, you here? Jared, you start. Come here. Put your hands. You're gonna bring out. Let's Jared push this. Jared, put your hand here. Come on, push it. Put your bread inside. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Guys, you have to break this here. Come on. Stronger, stronger. Let's go. All right. Here, put your hands here. Show me that you're strong. Bring it back. Bring it back. Back.
Тяни назад, тяни назад, назад тяни.
Up. Come on. Come on. Where's the muscle, man? All right. Why magic? Where's the bread?
А, смотри.
In the oven.
In the oven.
Exactly. Wow. So the bread is inside, guys. And let's take a look at the exit now when I start. Oh, we're just modifying the time of cooking. Okay. Oh, even 1 minute less. Yes. Okay, so let's take a look at the exit. All the fresh air was inside is coming out in a second. Why? Because when you start, you can be sure that you're exactly in 272 and 268.
Okay.
You don't have to
Not
wait
to
to
cool
find
down,
out.
not keep it.
Exactly.
Okay.
So you start, and this is how they especially done this.
That's why it's messing up in my oven.
I'm sorry, Jared. We have to jump once again to the first floor.
Oh my gosh.
So mini raisin and chocolate bread. So the green part is a pistachio. And let's take a look closer here. Oh, this is a regular chocolate bread with 2 lines of chocolate. But interesting things are here. This is, watch out, a little croissant.
Oh my gosh. No, can I have one? I want it.
You can have it, but then don't do anything with this. So, where's the secret of this? Good? Watch out, Peter. The secret of this, it's always on the side. So if you're looking on the side, you see all these layers? These layers are done by the dough, the butter, the dough, the butter, and the dough. And for 4 kilos of dough here, these guys putting inside these 4 kilos, 2 kilos of butter.
А,
So 50% of this is just butter. Just in case.
I just had 3 for
Just in
breakfast.
case. You said, no, I'm not taking a croissant. It's too heavy. I will take some raisin bread. The dough is the same.
Yeah.
Don't forget that. The other point. This is for the proportion. And one good trick. If you go to any bakery in the world, in the US, in Germany, in Poland, in Russia, it doesn't matter, and want to know if you buy a good one or not, you never be sure about the quality of the product, but you can be sure about one thing, is the amount of butter these guys using. And to know that, buy the croissant and cut it in 2 parts. And take a look inside. If inside you will have more than 5 layers, it's a good one. They use a lot of butter. If you have less than 5 layers, it's a fake one. You pay for the dough and not for the butter. So, of course, the butter is always more expensive.
Right.
Okay, keep this in your mind.
Wow.
Here, guys, behind, to mix all of... Oh, attends, parce qu'il faut que si j'enlève pas ça, on est mort. Watch out. This will move, so I have to remove my bottle, sorry. This is the machine that these guys using to just flip all that butter and dough together and squeeze that dough. And this machine is calling a laminator. This laminator did the job of our grandmother when she was rolling this with a roller.
Yeah.
In Poland, it was maybe just the grandmother. But right in the middle, we have this roller. And this machine, the grandmother taking 5 hours, this machine is going to take 5 minutes. And we already have in the other side the big block of dough and butter already. So we will squeeze that and use it to create the croissant. Tu peux y aller là où?
Just doing 4 folds or 5 folds?
Actually, when we fold the butter, sometimes even 10 times. So we have a block of 4 kilos. Put the block of butter, go inside, squeeze, flip once, go again, flip twice, go again. And this is the result.
Wait, is it
Wow.
Let's take a look. It's crazy.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Look.
It's flipping though.
Wow, look at this.
God.
Yeah.
Watch out. Step back, Jared. Yes. And you're gonna use the roller here.
It's so thin. It's just getting soft. It's getting stuck. Ow!
Job done.
Wow.
I'm asking because normally they first flip one over the other and do these 2 lines after. So if you do the other system, you have to know that all the dough which stay now on the side will be reused for the next. Yes. D'accord. Ah yes. Okay, bien joué. So we flip one over the others. Tu attaques d'ici ou tu les superposes? Tu les superposes. Ok. And we have now 4 layers. So, tu me laisses quelques minutes, je remonte pour les pains au chocolat. For the end. And we flip all of it. So at the end, if I'm looking carefully, we have a long chocolate braid with 2 lines of chocolate. And to make the same size for each chocolate braid, we're using this crazy tool calling a bicycle.
Bicycle.
This bicycle give you exactly the same size for each chocolate braid. So you just have to leave some marks on the dough, come with your knife and cut. And you always have the same size for each chocolate braid that we have inside the freezers. But today we're not going to do some chocolate braid, we will do some enrolling, some croissant. We put this chocolate back now, so just separate it. And how we will do that? We take 1 triangles on our hand.
Сначала. Рассказывай.
Put it on the side.
Сначала расставляем вместо вот такого
Ouais, carrément, il y en a 10 personnes. Sir, d'accord.
Да, потом.
One, two,
раз
three.
и
Okay.
сразу же вот
This is the one you've done. Peter, put more pressure. Okay.
Больше
Take a look.
давления.
Here you have not enough pressure because you use your fingers. You have to use your hands to put the pressure on. No, keep it in.
I did it
We do another one. Take a look. You take this, stretch it, stop it down. Start with the fingers, like this. But after, you forget the fingers and use the hands. So pressure, pressure, and pressure. So between here, I have no spaces. If you compare, you have spaces. Okay? Let's go. This is for you. This is the one you're done.
Good.
Give it a camera with your picture if you want. Clara, stay with your parents.
These 2 ones are mine.
И...
So,
Не,
maybe
Петь,
that
он
you
тебе
stand
показал.
behind the little one. Perfect.
Вот, чтобы не было давления больше.
Yes, I got everything. 1, 2. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1. We do another one.
Give them to me because you'll be snacking on them until they're gone.
What a smell.
That's it.
What a smell, yeah.
Butter.
Nice.
Peter.
No, this one's mine.
All right. Up, up, up. Choose one bowl.
One of them.
Today, son.
Grab the bag. Because it could be big.
I can.
Yeah, choose one of these. Doesn't matter, honestly. This one, perfect. Grab the bag finally. Cool. Alright. That one. Cool. Jared,
Yes.
which one you want? You should remember, nobody remembers.
Началась наша экскурсия. Мама мне купила такой набор, яркий набор. И сейчас мы вот это.
Это все, что мы получили еще. Да?
Столько багетов.
Ну, тебе понравилась экскурсия?
Ага. Еще даже у бабушки и дедушки будут багеты.
Да, я тоже так думаю. Ну что, спасибо Егору. Да? Он очень классный был у нас гид.